That woman's too poor to have a baby. Go tell her no. Oh, okay. I'll go get her some contraceptive.
So this has nothing to do with Mr. Williams specifically, just his skit, and this is a really great thing to talk about. Great as in we need to have this discussion, sad as in the facts. Okay? The thing is that when you carry a fetus, right? It is technically a parasite for the moment. They can't live outside your womb until a certain point, until it's viable. And there are times when even then there's circumstances where the woman's health is in danger, or the baby's fetus, parasite, whatever you want to call it, life is in danger. Okay? The thing is that these all abortion bans are harming more than helping. And truly, if you want to look at the statistics, abortion rates actually go down when we put in more money into social programs. With that being said, you know what also happens? Adoption rate goes down, which is a good thing, right? But there's the supply and demand. And all these hopeful adoptive parents get really upset that they don't have access to a child. They want to buy a child. Meanwhile, families in crisis are trying their hardest to stay together. It doesn't necessarily mean that they want to have an abortion, right? Abortion ends a pregnancy. Adoption is a means to parenting. Two very different problems here. The thing is that adoption is not child-centered. Adoption is a $24.7 billion for-profit industry. And it is supply and demand. They demonize women in crisis. Oh, you're too poor. Oh, you're not smart enough. Oh, you're never going to be financially stable. When on an average of $2,500 would keep a family together. Meanwhile, these hopeful parents, oh, she wants a baby, she's infertile, she can't have one. Try IVF. Oh, IVF's not working, just go adopt. First of all, adoption is not a family building tool, nor is it a band-aid for infertility. If you have infertility, get therapy. Okay? And I mean that in a nice way, like, you really need to deal with that before you even think about adoption. That being said, adoption is a legal process that doesn't center the child. $2,500 would keep a family together. Meanwhile, hopeful adoptive parents are paying anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 to purchase a human being. If it was really in the best interest of the child, they would help the family stay together. We have seen abortion rates go down, one, during Democratic presidents, if you actually look at it, and that is because Democratic presidents put more money, which is number two, into social programs. That also means that the supply and demand for babies goes down, which is what they're upset about. They do not care. They do not care that a human trafficker named Georgia Tan started the privatized adoption industry. Now, adoption was already a thing. Like, I want to make that clear. But she's what made it about the money. And people don't care. People don't care that adoptees lose our culture, we lose our family, we lose 15 of our 30 human rights. They don't care. They don't care to listen to us, right? That doesn't mean that there isn't a necessity for safe external care. There are options. Now, all of these options already exist and they do need reform. I want to make that clear. They are far from perfect. Do they get rid of human rights? It depends on the situation, right? There's kinship, so being with friends and being with family members It could be grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins, older siblings. Okay. Then there's fictive kin. Fictive kin would look like friends of family or within the same culture. So think ICWA. And then lastly would be guardianship, which there's different types. Again, none of these are perfect. All of them also need reform, right? It would be ideal if and when a family can't stay together, but it's often done wrong. And that's a problem in itself. So while adoptees like myself are advocating for change, we also have to consider, hey, while we say that these are options and they do exist, this is part of the problem. They also need to change because they are part of the adoption system as well. And I also want to note that the Supreme Court will not listen to change the adoption laws and give us our human rights, because more than half of them are linked to adoption. Now, mind you, adoptees only make 2 to 3% of the population. Yeah. That's what's frustrating. There are still homes for unwed mothers, especially in places like Utah, because religion forces these young women to give up their babies. There are still so many cases, as we've seen with Caitlin and Tyler, who were under the age of 18, forced to sign a contract and didn't know all of the implications. Adoption is the only legality where someone under 18 can sign a contract that is lifelong. The only legality. And you know who it affects the most? The adoptee. The adoptee will forever legally be tied to the adoptive parent. We cannot be emancipated. In most locations, most states, we cannot access our original birth certificates. None of us can access our medical records. We lose our culture, we lose access to family, and so much more. And it's frustrating that both sides, both, the red and the blue, use us adoptees as a ploy for their politics. Now, like I said in the beginning, one side is worse than the other. Okay, I am pro-choice as an adoptee and as a mother. Okay, but consider that majority of adoptees like myself, the first person that we've met, after birth would be our own children. Think about that. Think about how it affects others. We are also not incubators. I wish people would listen to our community far more. Anyway, I hope you all have a terrific day. I have a lot to do, and it's almost 5 o'clock, and I've been not doing work. So I got to get on that. Anyway, bye.